Here's blue, there's orange, and that over there is red. But here's a puzzle. Do you ever wonder if what you see as blue is exactly the same as another person's blue? Sure, we've given names to all these colors to help us share ideas and chat about them, but the truth is we just don't know for sure if what you experience is the exact same as what others do. Despite all the tiny steps and giant jumps we as humans have made, there's still so much we don't know about our world, life, and the human experience. The list of what we're yet to learn is even longer. You might remember that back on the 26th February 2015, a single picture of a dress managed to split the internet right down the middle. Some saw it as gold and white, while others swore it was blue and black. Since then, we've seen more of these kinds of tests, either using sight, like with the dress, or with hearing. Just think back to the Yanni versus Laurel debate. This whole deal just goes to show there's no guarantee that we all see or hear things the same way. Maybe your red is my blue, and who knows, there might even be someone who sees folks with purple teeth but names it as white. Now let's talk water. A whopping 71% of the earth is water. About 60% of humans are water too. Even our veggies and fruits are mostly water. Potatoes are 80%. Watermelons are 93%. Cucumbers climb up to 95%. Clearly, water is crucial for life on Earth. But guess what? We still don't know much about water. Even the oceans we evolved from are largely a mystery. We've managed to explore maybe 5 to 10% of the world's oceans. Everything else is a gigantic question mark. We've pulled up some weird creatures from the bits we've explored, like blobfish and barrel-eyed fish. But that's just a tiny part of what's out there, and the deeper we dive, the stranger it gets. What's hidden in the bottom of the oceans? Your guess is as good as mine. Back on dry land, though, countries that share their borders with a body of water use these coastlines to mark their territories. Looking at a coastline, that's where the land meets the sea. But how long is the coastline like, say, that of the US or any other country in the world? Well, the truth is, we don't really know. Coastlines twist and turn, zig and zag. They aren't simple straight lines. Sometimes they're massively broad, like bays, and sometimes they're super tiny. Now, going around measuring every nook and cranny isn't exactly practical, so folks taking measurements sometimes straighten out the twists and turns as best they can. If you take a look online, you'll find a bunch of different numbers. Everyone tries to simplify the complexity in their own way. That being said, we, as humans, have accomplished quite a bit. Whenever we've had a problem, we've come up with something to sort it out. Made clothes when it was too cold, built homes for shelter, created weapons for hunting, even invented money to buy and sell things. However, what about fire? Were we the inventors or the discoverers of fire? Now, let's consider music. Some say that music is a human invention, something recent. They think that music helped our ancestors create closer communities. But did we really make music? Or did we just find out that certain sounds go together nicely? Think about it. Birds chirp, whales have their songs, even tree frogs can croak a catchy tune. So, can we honestly say we invented music? And if we were the inventors, then what exactly is music? Well, that's a tough one. One of the biggest achievements of humanity has to be tool making. For the longest time, we thought that the use of tools set us apart, because we were the only creatures who used such a wide variety of tools to expand and develop so fast. But then again, turns out we're not the only tool users out there. Plenty of animals, especially primates, utilize tools in all sorts of ways. One iconic study by Jane Goodall unveiled that African chimpanzees were using tools for gathering food, for personal hygiene, and much more. This discovery led to some serious head-scratching. Were we supposed to redefine what we meant by human or tool? Chimpanzees were employing tools in the same ways we were. Does that mean we should consider chimps human? Of course not. So, if using tools doesn't define us, what does make us human? Looking at the same study, it came to light that chimps exhibited individual personalities and demonstrated clear signs of rational thought-like emotions and empathy. They could be seen giving comfort to each other, playing, showing affection, and maintaining relationships for over half a century. So, if emotions, rational thinking, and showing affection don't define a human, what does? We used to believe it was the sense of self-awareness that set us apart. However, several studies over the past 30 years have suggested that many other animals have too. In fact, in 2012, a group of neuroscientists produced the Cambridge Declaration on Consciousness. It stated that humans were not the only species with the neurological structures needed for consciousness. Other animals, including all mammals, birds, and even octopuses, share these features with us. So if self-awareness, consciousness, and experience don't set us apart, what makes us uniquely human? The truth is, we really don't know. We do know there was a time when we weren't here, now we are, and one day we won't exist again. We're unsure of what happened before we were born, just like we don't know what happens after we die. When someone dies and is revived, we call it a near-death experience because we usually think of death as the end. But what if it isn't? What if one of the many religious beliefs that humans hold is accurate? Even Earth has its own share of mysteries. There are so many bizarre formations and structures that make us scratch our heads in confusion. Take Stonehenge, for example. Who built it? Why? A quick Google search will give you all sorts of theories, from druids using it for sacrificial ceremonies to prehistoric people for burying their cremated dead. Some even assert humans couldn't have done it alone, but the real answer is, we don't know for sure. The same goes for the pyramids too. Some attribute their creation to the gods of Egypt. Others are convinced it was pure human grit that got the job done. However, in reality, we simply don't know. The power of the human mind is undeniably amazing. Every invention, theory, or discovery ever made has come from the human mind. We conceptualize an idea in our minds before we bring it to life. Perhaps we still haven't fully grasped the potential of the human mind. The placebo effect offers a glimpse of this. In a nutshell, the placebo effect shows how doctors can give a patient what looks like treatment, but in fact isn't. Yet, this pretend treatment triggers the brain into perceiving it as real, and guess what? The healing process gets a kickstart. Basically, the mind can heal the body, making it believe it's receiving treatment even when it's not. In the field of social cognitive and affective neuroscience, research has found self-affirmation can boost your positive self-view and restore your self-confidence and self-worth. Saying nice things to yourself can indeed convince your brain and body that you are those things. And this is just what we know so far about the mind's capabilities. Who knows what else is there? And let's not forget animals. We seemingly know a great deal about them, but dogs are often gentle and affectionate, cats can be moody, and the lion is termed the king of the jungle, though its home is more the savannah. Not everything lines up logically, and we don't know nearly as much as we think we do. Space exploration is one of mankind's proudest achievements, but what it's really underlined is just how tiny we are on the cosmic scale. There are, guesstimates suggest, at least 2,500 solar systems discovered, but that count could stretch into the tens of billions. And that's just in our own galaxy, the Milky Way, which is only one amongst billions of galaxies out there in the universe. The enormity of it all genuinely makes you ponder. Are we alone in the universe? And if we aren't alone, why haven't we had any friendly neighborhood aliens dropping by? We have many theories, But as always, we simply don't know for sure and can't prove most things. One fundamental question we grapple with is, what is the universe made of? Why are there things in it to start with? All matter is ostensibly composed of indivisible atoms. But why do atoms exist? Where do they originate from? When we pass away, what becomes of those atoms? Do they simply transition into other forms of matter? Time is another mystery. It unceasingly moves forward, never standing still for anything with mass. We know that yesterday is the past, today is the present, and tomorrow the future. But what is time really? Where does it stem from? To compound the conundrum, did we humans discover or invent time? There are seemingly endless mysteries about our world that we just don't understand. While some queries are profoundly deep, like the ones we've just explored, others are more mundane. Ever notice how when someone yawns, you often find yourself yawning too? Why on earth is yawning contagious? And our reactions when we're blissful, we laugh. When we're sorrowful, we cry. Why these specific responses to particular emotions? Why this expression of joy or sorrow? For quite some time it was thought that laughter was a tool for social bonding, an evolutionary trait to increase social ties. But if this was true, shouldn't laughter be exclusive to humans, or at least primates? Turns out it isn't. Other social animals such as dolphins and even rats exhibit forms of laughter. So the question remains, why do we laugh? And then there's crying. Why do we cry? It seems to hold some sort of emotionally cathartic power. Crying engages our parasympathetic nervous system and helps restore our bodies to a normal, fully functional state. Yet, why is it that we connect it with sadness? We often cry after a distressing event, not necessarily when it's transpiring. Could it be an evolved mechanism to process and cope with emotional traumas? But hold on, we also cry for joyous reasons. So maybe all I'm saying is guesswork. I do not really know. Why are some people right-handed and others left-handed? And why aren't we all ambidextrous? Wouldn't that be more logical? Indeed, we can postulate numerous theories, but they remain just that, theories. Proving these theories as undeniable natural facts can be much tougher than it seems. Many a scientific theory has been eventually dismissed, supplanted, or proven wrong. We once thought Earth was the center of the universe, only to one day realize it wasn't. And then there's talk of theories, such as the hollow Earth hypothesis, allegedly influencing certain World War II strategies. Every day we're learning and unlearning, and let's face it, much of what we think we know could be wrong. And most likely, it is because we don't have all the answers. But that's okay. Our pursuit of understanding the world around us continues. We keep asking questions, keep learning, trying to unravel the mysteries of our existence, one puzzle piece at a time. Hopefully, we're inching closer to answering the most significant question of them all. What does existence truly mean?